Good evening and welcome to the UA 92 Generalise or Specialise, where we're going to explore our sports management and business of football degrees. So it's really good to see so many people from across the globe, from Nigeria, Ireland, of course, here in England, Portugal and Senegal. So a warm welcome to you. My name is Spencer Fearn. I'm the course leader for the sports management and business of football degrees. So what are we going to cover this evening? We're going to cover the different roles that are in sport, give you an insight to the sports management and business of football team that deliver the degrees here at UA 92, what courses are available, the 92 programme, which is an integral part of our academic degree offer, which guest speakers you could possibly meet if you embark on a degree with us here in Manchester, the numerous placement opportunities and also room for questions as well. However, if you do have any questions as I'm talking away, please feel free to pop them in the chat box. Okay, so let's find out a little bit about you guys that have logged in online this evening. So in the chat box, if you put your name, the sports team that you support, and what is your dream job or dream career. So we'll give that a few moments and see what we get in the chat box. Okay, so we have got, that's what, Danny Stevens, so Manchester United. Well, that's good because we have plenty of Manchester United fans here at UA 92. We have Remy, who's an Everton fan. Fantastic, Remy. We do cover Everton quite a lot in our curriculum, which I'll explore with you a little later. And we have Sam from Ireland, a Manchester United fan. So thanks for popping your details in. So good to meet you all online. So what type of careers can you have in sports management? Well, in the football industry alone, there are over 80 different roles. So it could be work in administration, operations, sports or football governance, media, public relations, or even running your own business in the sports sector. The opportunities are fantastic for young people wanting to explore working in the sports industry. Now, we're going to take you to a few people who work in sports. So at the top left-hand corner, you can see Fearn Soriano, and Fearn is the Chief Executive Officer of Manchester City and also the City Football Group's clubs in New York City and Melbourne. And Fearn has quite a nice life. He earns £3.7 million per year. You'll see on the right-hand side is Denise Lewis. So Denise was an athlete for UK Athletics, and now, after a career in media, she is the president of UK Athletics. At the bottom left is Marina Granovskaya. Now, Marina was named as the most powerful woman in football when she worked at Chelsea. And indeed, when Roman Abramovich sold the club a few years ago, she received a steady £34 million payoff. And to the right, you can see Roger Goodall, who is the NFL Chief Commissioner. Now, Roger doesn't do bad either. He earns £63.9 million, or dollars, should I say, per year. Now, all of these people have something in common with you. They were your age once, and they either embarked on a degree or an academic route or got into sports leadership positions through a career in the field they chose, i.e. athletics. So with hard work and dedication, anything is possible. So let's tell you a little bit about the team here in our sports management and business of football department. So you can see myself to the left there. So I'm Spencer. I've owned football clubs in Scotland and England. I've served as a director on the board of a rugby union championship side and co-owned a boxing promotions and management company for 5 years. I also work as a coach educator for the Football Association here in England and have managed over 350 games in semi-professional football and worked as a coach in the professional academy system. Now, in terms of my education, I have 2 master's degrees, all sport related, as you would imagine. I've got the Johan Cruyff Master of Coaching and the Johan Cruyff Master in Sports Management, and also 2 level 7 leadership qualifications as well. So in terms of Natalie, who you can see on the top right, Natalie has had a stellar career working in industry, of course, has a degree as well, really working in sports operations management and sports facility, and is very keen paddle, tennis, and of course, football fan, being a Manchester United fan. Bottom left is Luke. Now, Luke was a graduate on the sports management degree program only in April 2024. And he impressed us that much that he got a role here at UA92 as a teaching associate, where he's doing a fantastic job. Now, in the middle is Trina Lowe, and Trina joined us only a month ago. Trina's background is running her own businesses in marketing, in the business sector, but also in the sports sector as well. And she spent 6 years working in global strategy for Manchester United. And on the bottom right is Jane, who can only be described as a force of nature. Jane has won many, many awards, Innovator of the Year for the UK, ran lots of different businesses. And an interesting fact about Jane is she's ran over 110 marathons, an incredible lady and an incredible achievement. So these are the permanent staff who deliver the sports management degree and business of football degree. And we also have 2 associate lecturers, Andy Heald, who works for FIFA, and Claire Farmbach-Harrop, who works at Manchester Laces, the English FA, and is a coach at Liverpool Feds in the 3rd tier of the Women's League. So a lot of our degree is, of course, around theories, and it's based on academia and based on research. But what's really important about how we deliver, they're very, very current issues that we speak about. So I see that Remy, who's an Everton fan, will probably, or maybe not pleased to hear that we use Everton as one of the cases of how not to run a football club. And they give me lots of material and the students as well. Now, of course, we have our Man United fans, so Sam in Ireland, and I think it was Danny as well, a United fan, so we will speak about the Sir Jim Radcliffe investment in Manchester United with Ineos and the 25%, of course, the change of manager recently with Eric Ten Hag, was that the right decision or not? These are the kind of things that we debate. Also, British gymnastics, which sadly had a culture of bullying, was subject to an independent review. So we'll speak about the independent reviews that have happened in sports here in the UK, but also on a global level as well. And also the England and Wales Cricket Board, which was accused of elitism, racism and sexism. So these are all current issues that are happening in the sports industry, and this is your content as well as the academic underpinning for your degree. So how does it work here at University Academy 92? Well, we are deliberately different, and we've set up a program that works for students and works for you. You start studying when you're ready. So we have 6 different entrance points throughout the year. So you can start, September is traditionally the one, and maybe January, but there are different entrance points where you can start. So if you're not quite ready come September, not to worry, there'll be other times when you can join us here at the university. And you only study one subject module at a time over a 6-week block. So this means that you can give full focus to the module that you're working on. Now, the bit that I really like, for somebody who didn't like exams, is there's no traditional end-of-year exams as part of the sports management and business of football degree. Now, I mentioned a little earlier about the 92 program, and this is where we focus on your character and personal development. And this makes up 20% of the degree. So we will look at your strengths, how you develop professionally, your personal development, and your well-being as well. So all really important skills to develop for when you get that interview post-graduation. Now, you can study in the morning or in the afternoon. However, this is timetabled, so you are allocated a slot either AM or PM. And a typical week could be 9 o'clock till 1 o'clock, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday or Friday, or 2 o'clock or 2 p.m. till 6 p.m, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday or Friday. And the beauty of this structure is it does not change during your time with us here at UA92, so you can get yourself a part-time job or do some volunteering and work around a set schedule that doesn't change every semester like other universities. So let's tell you a bit about the sports management degree. Another deliberately different part of our university is you can do your degree in 2 years as well as 3 years as well. Now, this degree has been set up to give you a rounded view of the sports sector and the sports management industry. So we're covering sports such as football, tennis, rugby, paddle, athletics, etc., etc. So it gives you a real insight into the different sports that there are globally. And we're going to talk now a little bit about the different modules included within sports management. So management and organizations, you will look at federations, national associations, private industries, and so on, really getting a feel for the different organizations that work in the sports sector. And then you will learn how to manage organizations and also market them to ensure you can get the maximum exposure for the organization you represent when you graduate. The sports finance and economics module is really to have a deep dive into the different finances associated with sport to give you a real understanding of the numbers that are around it. And the introduction to sports events management is about small events, but also global events such as the Olympics, the World Cup, the Euros, and so on. Now, as you move into year 2, you start to look at sports operations management. For example, what does a match day look like at Old Trafford? The many different operations that take part and how they have to work together. In sports law and ethics, you look at contract law. We have guest speakers that are agents that come in and explain how law works in the world of sport. And then taking a deep dive into sports business analytics, looking at the variety of different analytics that sports organisations must review to ensure they maximise their potential. Whereas sports policy and development is more about policies that are set down by government or that are in schools, and you can explore these further as part of this last module in year 2. So as you go into year 3, this is now the business end of the degree, and strategic leadership, which is one of my favourite modules, really gets you to explore the different leaders that we see in sport. So for those Manchester United fans, we have Sir Alex Ferguson. Maybe a slight problem with the Everton leadership at the moment. Sorry, Remy. But what we'll do, we'll look at lots and lots of different leaders across a wide variety of sports. Now, governance is absolutely critical in any sporting organisation, and we cover that as a module, as you can see, the second one on the slides. Now, new trends are really important. The sports industry is changing every day. So we're looking at crypto in sports, the use of platforms such as Roblox, looking at YouTube, how people consume media. So new trends is really to get you up to date for when you graduate about what is going to be happening, not only at the time you're at University Academy 92, but also what is predicted to be new trends in the future. And the Sports Business Challenge is your dissertation, a project which is around 5,500 words, where you can choose a research question of your own or get a live project from one of our many, many partners. So we spoke there about the sports management degree, which gives you a real rounded view of the sports industry. However, if football is your passion, and I know it is my passion, this could be the degree for you. This degree is 100% pure football, and like the sports management degree, can be done over 2 or 3 years. Now, what's unique about this degree is that it combines on the field and off the field. From our research, a lot of football clubs told us that people who work off the field, for marketing or commercial, for example, don't really understand what happens on the field. With our expertise here at University Academy 92, of course, the class of 92 have more expertise than most, we've put together a degree that combines the two. So this is very similar in terms of the structure of the sports management degree. So management and organisations, introduction to sports events management, and sports finance and economics are the same as a sports management degree, but 100% pure football. The change in the module in year 1 is fan engagement, marketing, and the commercialisation of football. Football is global, and there are so many opportunities, not just here in the United Kingdom, but globally when you graduate. So it's really important you have an understanding of these key aspects. And again, we go into year 2, very similar to sports management. We have sports operation management with a focus on football, football law, ethics, and social responsibility. All football clubs and federations have a commitment to being socially responsible, and whether they achieve that or not is for you to debate in your class. An exciting module is the talent identification, analysis and player management. So how do football clubs identify players? And for those Manchester United fans that are on the call, will know that their talent identification the last 5 or 6 years has not been very good. And they have spent a lot of money, without, of course, naming certain players at United. But talent ID in football is absolutely critical. We have key guest speakers from the world of talent ID and recruitment come and speak to you, people who are working in the industry. And football policy, very similar to sports policy in the sports management degree, is all about football policy and development in the community. So here in England, there are numerous foundations that are attached to professional football clubs that do some wonderful work in the communities, and we gain insights on those further. Now into year 3. So strategic leadership, again, purely around football. So Sir Alex Ferguson, as I mentioned earlier, is always a great leader to review. Football governance, so from the Football Association to UEFA to FIFA, lots of different governance around that, and new trends in sports business management with a pure focus on football. And like the sports management degree, there's a project and dissertation at the end, which is 5,500 words generally, or you take a live project from one of our key partners. So I mentioned the 92 program. So this is 20% of your degree. So 80% is academic, 20% is the 92 program. And the 4 themes that we cover: professionalism, well-being, personal development and strengths. And all those different pillars that you can see, digital, problem solving, communication and so on, are the 11 pillars that go within those 4 themes. And by the way, these are some of the themes that Sir Alex Ferguson had in the dressing room when Gary and Ryan and the rest of the class of 92 were winning titles year after year, and the odd Champions League as well. So this is based on what Sir Alex Ferguson taught the class of 92 and the other players as well about what's important. The 92 program prepares you for working life. So you can see on this slide some of our students who took part in a press conference, and this is a type of activity that we do where students have to defend an organisation. So you can see at the top left is Wembley Stadium. So in 2021, in the England-Italy Euro final, a number of fans stormed Wembley Stadium. So the students you can see there had to defend the independent review that was done on Wembley. And there were very similar cases with the FA, of course, Manchester United, and you can see Aston Villa women in the bottom left-hand corner. By holding these press conferences, this is preparing you for a role that you could undertake when you graduate, facing up to the media and many journalists, which the students play the role of journalists, to ensure you're ready when you're out there working in sport. Now, one of the real key elements of our programs are the people that come to see us here at UA 92. And here are just a selection. In the top left-hand corner is Sam Mackenzie. She is CEO at Altrincham, a National League club. To the right is Pete Ackley, who is CEO of British American Football and also is a director of the England and Wales Cricket Board. The bottom left is Paul Bell, who spent over a decade at Leeds United when they got back into the Premier League, and he is now the Chief Operations Officer at Premier League club Nottingham Forest. And at the bottom right is Raj Atwal, who is the president of Odisha in the Indian Super League, who just won the equivalent of the FA Cup out there in India. And Raj has previously worked for Coventry, Watford and Glasgow Rangers in Scotland. Top left is Marissa Ewers. So Marissa is a general manager for Aston Villa Ladies. To the right of Marissa is Chris Brinley, MBE. So he's the ex-chair of Manchester FA, the ex-chair of Rugby League World Cup 2021, the current chairman of the Northern Irish Premier League, and he was once voted Britain's best boss when he was MD at NatWest Bank. The bottom left is Liam Scully, who's a Chief Executive Officer at Lincoln City and Chair of the English Football League Trust, which is their charitable arm. And at the bottom right is John Dutton, who's a Chief Executive of British Cycling. So these are just a flavour of some of the people that come in to meet you as students at UA 92. Now, it's not just those people you've seen, though the 8 that I've been through. We have Andrew Webster, the Academy Manager at Hearts. We have Zoran Koneta, who's at Charlotte in the MLS in the United States. We have Caroline Rogers, who's worked for UEFA, Shah Ahmed, who's worked Olympics and World Cups. Lots and lots of top practitioners in the world of sport that come to share their insights with you. Another key element of our programme, as well as the degree, is the network and connections we have here at UA 92. We've had some wonderful partnerships and current partnerships and placements with Altrincham Football Club, where some students went to Altrincham and spent 4 or 5 days there learning about how a National League club operates. You'll see a little video on this shortly. We've done lots of projects with Salford City Football Club, a League 2 English Football League club. Manchester FA, lots of placements supporting them with events and the different projects that they have. And of course, one of our main partners, Manchester United. So we're just going to play you a little video now of the experience that some of our students had at Altrincham in March of this year.
Much appreciated. UA 92 have visited the day dancing on Saturday and also here again this evening. Thank you very much for your support.
Amaluzor, he'll utilise Justin Amaluzor. Welcome back, Justin Amaluzor.
So we spoke a bit about the degree, the academic elements, the 92 programme element, which gives you your 100% of your degree. We spoke about the placements and the many opportunities. But so what? Are there any guarantees of a job post-graduation, and what is our success rate like? Well, you'll see that has just come up on the screen is one of our graduates, the class of 2024, which is Neve Holmes. Neve started on her degree almost 3 years ago, really nervous and thinking maybe a degree wasn't for her. Was she capable of achieving a degree? Well, 3 years passed. Neve achieved 92% in her dissertation, which was the highest across the university. She secured a job with Blackpool Football Club as a player care officer before she graduated, and has recently been appointed by Manchester City Women. This is all within 6 months of graduation. And the slide that you saw was an article that Neve had published in FC Business, which is the trade magazine for the football industry. The first ever undergraduate in the history of the magazine, and I think of our university as well, to be published. And that was based on a dissertation where she scored 92%, where she explored player care. Now, we've had lots of graduate outcomes. People have gone to Brentford Football Club in coaching, the commercial department at Chester Racers, horse racing, player care officer at Stoke City, marketing executives at Lancashire Cricket. There's been opposition analysis roles with National League clubs, and many students do go on and complete a master's degree after they finish their undergraduates here at UA 92. So with hard work and achieving a very good degree, lots of possibilities are there because of our network and the connections that we have, not just here in Manchester, but across the globe. Now, what we measure ourselves on is a National Student Survey, which is completed every year about March, April time. And this is the opportunity for students to give feedback on how we're performing. So in terms of the Sports Management Business of Football department, we achieved 3 firsts, so either first in the United Kingdom or on par with other universities. So how good are teaching staff at explaining things? We had a 100% satisfaction survey and came first, joint first with 6 other universities in the United Kingdom. Another question was, how often does your course challenge you to achieve your best work? We scored 100% satisfaction in this and came first, without sharing first place this time, number 1 all the way. And then question 5, to what extent have you had a chance to explore your ideas and concepts in depth? And we scored 94.1%, which again was first in the United Kingdom in any World of Business department. So some really, really positive results. But not only that, our students here at UA 92 have access to dedicated student support and wellbeing services, including mental health, counselling, chaplaincy and disability support. Now, we scored 90.6% in this area against a sector average of 79%. So as well as all the placements, as well as the degree, what else can you expect here at UA 92? Well, the volunteer opportunities I've touched on at Altrincham Football Club, every home game, every second Saturday, there's lots of opportunities, whether it be ticketing, hospitality, or even working with the CEO, Sam Mackenzie. Now, in March 24, the video that you saw, we had a takeover week at Altrincham FC, and we've also had many students on placement with one of our key partners, Salford City. We've also had internships and placements at Lancashire Cricket, which is just across the road from our Old Trafford campus, where students had the opportunity to work on key events such as the Ashes Test, but also some gigs that happen there, such as the Arctic Monkeys. Now, in March 2024, the students led a Women in Sports Leadership Conference, and this was to raise awareness of the inequality in the amount of women that get leadership positions in sports. Over 100 people attended this, and it was an absolutely fantastic event, which was driven with a little help from the academics, but mainly driven by our students. And on the back of that, some of our students received opportunities for internships, placements, and indeed employment. So just recently in November, we've had another Altrincham UA 92 takeover and one at Salford City. And in March 2025, another student-led EDIB conference where we cover racial equity, disability sport, and LGBTQ+. Again, which is going to be led with around 16 students who will deliver that event here at our Old Trafford campus. Okay. So really the next area is for you guys. If you have any questions at all, please pop them in the chat and we will take the questions, and then what we can do is hopefully give you some answers. So we've had some that have been coming through. So we've got Sam. So this is our United fan. Out in Dublin, I believe. What a nice city that is, Sam. So it says here, what financial support is available at UA 92? So great question, and we had a slide prepared for this anyway. So we have a Make It For Real package worth up to £5,000. So it's up to £5,000, and that is generally for students maybe on low income, or the families are on low income, have been in receipt of free dinners, very much like I was when I was growing up. And you get a laptop, unlimited data, you get lunch paid for every day, a travel pass, and a £150 home voucher. So if you're moving to Manchester, this can help with all your cutlery and different elements that you need. So the Make It For Real package is a fantastic initiative here at UA 92, which can help support you. So one here, this is from Danny. So do the networking opportunities differ between the two courses? Well, not really. Plenty of networking opportunities, whether it's sports management or the business of football. We have over 100 partners across the university, and I've mentioned some of them: Manchester United, Salford City, for example, British Cycling we work in rugby league as well. Lots and lots of different people that we're working with to create opportunities for volunteering or maybe attending events. So we did one at British Cycling recently where some students went there. So networking opportunities, I would say pretty much the same for both degrees. But if you're after a more generic overview or insight to the sports industry, the sports management degree would probably be the one for you. If it's purely football that you want to follow for a career, I'd suggest a business of football degree could work for you. Joe has asked how many students are in each class. So again, part of us being deliberately different, Joe, is that we have no more than 30 students in each class, which is very different to many universities, certainly in the United Kingdom, where there can be 200, 300, 400 people in a huge seminar hall. And what this allows us to do, Joe, is really get to know all of the students and provide that individual support. So if I was asked, could you name the second and third year students and what football teams they support, I'd probably be able to tell you, which is not the case at your more traditional universities. So having no more than 30 really helps you develop in terms of the support that you get. Meg's asked a question about what kind of topics do people do their dissertation on? Well, you have an opportunity to do your own project, so you can choose your own research question, or you get a live project from one of our key partners. So when I spoke about Neve a little earlier, she did her dissertation on player care. And it was a really smart move from Neve, because what she did is use the dissertation as an opportunity to build her network in player care, which is a job that she wanted to follow. I have a student at the moment doing a dissertation in profit and sustainability rules. So this student is speaking to people in the football industry about the finances around football, but also building his network as well. And because the sports management and business of football team are all from industry, we have a real wealth of contacts that we can connect you with. Okay, well, I think that wraps up the questions. So thank you ever so much to Sam, Danny, Meg, and Joe for your questions. Thanks very much for joining us. Please do take a look at our website, ua92.ac.uk. And we also have an open day on the 11th of January, which I think I'm doing myself anyway, at the Business School and Old Trafford campus. But if you have any more questions at all, please feel free to reach out and send them to futures@ua92.ac.uk. Thanks for joining us. Have a pleasant evening.